guys, and welcome to the second episode of my Tinder series. The first one that I did was about why I don't tell my Tinder dates that I do YouTube videos. So I'm gonna leave a link down below to that one in case you haven't seen it. But today we're gonna talk about my best and my worst Tinder date. And when it comes to the worst one, I have a few different dates that I want to mention. So let's just get started because we have some stories to go through. I want to begin with the first date. And it was actually the first Tinder date that I ever had, which was quite weird that the first one has been the best one. I can tell you I've been on 10 dates from Tinder now, or met up with like 10 guys from Tinder. This first one, let's call him Benjamin. So we had only spoken to each other for about like 3 days or so, and we decided to meet up. So we met up in like the center of the city, by the town hall, and there is like a statue on Flackhelm if you're from Odense, and we decided to meet up there. And I rode my bike in there, and it was the winter time still. It was maybe in March or something this year. It was pretty cold. I remember just like leaving my bike, locking it, and I was a bit nervous. This was the first date, like the first person to meet up with, and I was nervous. So I looked over at the statue and I could see this guy from like far, and he looked very, very sweet. And we met up and everything was just pretty natural. I don't think it was awkward at all. He was good at asking questions and I was asking questions, and we decided to go and get a drink somewhere. And it was a Sunday, that's what I remember now, because pretty much everywhere was closed. It was the evening, it was a Sunday. But we decided to go to Old Irish Pub, which is one of my favorite places in Odense. And I actually didn't have a drink. I decided to have a cup of hot chocolate, and he had one as well, I think. I don't quite remember. But we spoke like everything, like the conversation was so easy. We had the same sense of humor pretty much, like we had fun. And then we actually went to his apartment, which is not something, we didn't do that just like to have sex or something, but we went to his apartment and chilled, talked, and we were actually together for 5 hours, I think. And that's a long time on a first date, that we decide to be together and talk and chill for 5 hours. But we just felt very comfortable and very nice in each other's company. And we also ended up kissing that first night, which is also not something I've done on like most of the dates I've been on. There has been no like kissing or anything on the first date. It has just been like meeting each other and just to see like who are you and who am I and are we compatible. So all in all, I think Benjamin was very sweet. He was like my own age, and we just got along very well. But I don't know, we saw each other for like, I think we saw each other like 10 times. So we did see each other for quite a long time, over maybe 2 months or something. And then we decided that we weren't like the best match, and we didn't go further with it. That was my best date. Like my first ever Tinder date was very successful. And I think I remember like when that was over, I was like, I had so much trust and faith in Tinder. I was so pleased with how it went that I was very positive about it. But let's move on to my worst dates, because I actually think that's more fun to hear. So I have 3 dates that didn't really go as planned, or maybe was just a bit surprising in some way or another. So the first one I want to mention was with a guy. We're gonna call him Louis. So Louis and I had been on our first date, and it was very, very chilled. We met up and were creative and made like a collage at Brandts. That's a place in Odense as well. They had a workshop where you could come and be like very creative. They had a lot of posters that you could cut in, and then we were supposed to make our own collage together. And that was actually a very successful date, and I was very positive because he had this idea that we could go there, and I just thought it was very cool to meet someone that had some ideas and things he wanted to do. And it was cool. And then the next date, we decided that we wanted to go for a walk, I think. I think that was like the big part of it. It was a very, very nice summer's day, and we decided to go for a walk along the creek. So we did, and things were surprising. it was just like he had a bad day or something. Like everything got on his nerves. People we walked by were just annoying to him. Like everything was apparently bad. Like there weren't supposed to be other people around. They annoyed him. Things in the creek annoyed him. I don't know. There were so many things. The sun, I remember, annoyed him. Like the weather apparently shouldn't have been that good. I just got more and more annoyed. I don't think we went very far until I knew that this was not a match. Like we were not supposed to see each other again. I was just so filled up with all of the negative comments about like everything. But to make it a bit worse, we sat down, had a look over the creek, and it was very pretty. And I was trying to tease him a bit and be like, can you say anything positive about this? Like, look at the view, how beautiful it is. And what happened? I tried to like stand up and move away. I was like, let's just get moving. And he pulled me back and he kissed me. And like, let's make it even worse. I just didn't want the kiss. And when I followed him back home, he kissed me again. He kissed me goodbye. And I was just like, stop kissing me. I'm not interested in these kisses. Like, he just pulled me and kissed me. And yeah, that was not good. That was not good. So I tried to tell him that I didn't think we should see each other again. I think for most of the time when you're like, I don't think we should see each other again, people get a bit upset and then they move on. But Louis was very determined that we should see each other again. So weird, not good. Then I had a date that was very impulsive of me. Like in the beginning of all of this dating thing, I was very much pushing myself. So if anybody asked if I wanted to go on a date, go have a cup of coffee, I had to say like yes. And also I wanted to push myself. So if I didn't have a good excuse, I would have to say yes. And I was invited in to come and do a quiz in the city Wednesday night with a guy that I'd never met. We had actually only just written like back and forth, like a couple of messages throughout that day, and he was like, just come, me and a couple of my friends, we're gonna go and do this quiz and you can come meet up with us. And I was trying to figure out some excuses for myself, and then I was like, Elise, we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna meet up, maybe this is gonna be crazy or maybe this is gonna be so much fun. So I met up with them, and there were like this guy, let's call him Jonathan, and then he had two friends. And the weird thing here is that the entire thing was so cool and so chill, and they were very nice. He was nice too, but he was just talking so much about weed. I don't know if it was because of my dreadlocks that he thought I was okay with weed, or maybe I loved weed too. If you don't know, I'm actually against the use of weed unless it has true purpose. Like, I know that it can help with pain and like illnesses, and so there are so many positive things that it can do if you use it correctly, but just smoking weed in general is not something I support. So he just kept speaking about it, and it was a bit awkward for me because I didn't say at any point that I was actually against it, but I was just trying to like laugh along with the stories and like try to just be okay with it, because what to do? Like, I had never met this guy before, and I don't think it would have been appropriate to sit there and be like mean or mad or anything. So that was not good either. And then date number 3 that I want to mention as the worst is just because it got very awkward. I was on this date with a guy that I actually know from school. We went in the same school in 9th grade, and we did a play together. I honestly don't really remember him, but he don't remember me either, so that's fine. But on the date, we were just out for a drink at one of my favorite places in Odense as well. It's called Elise. I'm telling you about a few places in this video, but it's very cool. It's called Elise, and it means tasteless, and they have like dolls hanging in this cafe place. I don't know what to call it, but they have like dolls hanging. They have Christmas decorations all year round. They have so many different ugly things, so I really liked the place. But we were sitting there having a drink, and instead of talking a lot about the two of us, I think we talked more about his friend, let's call him Marcus, because apparently his friend Marcus was into me back in 9th grade, and apparently had been trying to flirt with me. I actually don't know that, but I do remember that back in 9th grade I thought he was very, very cute, so I'm actually sad that I just didn't understand it back then. Elise! So we just talked more about his friend instead of talking about us, and to make it even worse, one of his friends came over, and I didn't really think about it at that time. Like, I said hello to them as well with hands, saying hey, my name is Elise, and they talked to each other for like about 5 minutes, and then they left. And when I got back home from the date, this guy contacted me. Apparently he was also someone I had matched with on Tinder, and he contacted me and was like, I don't really know how your date went, but would you like to grab a cup of coffee sometimes or something? And I was just like, that's so weird. And to make it even worse, another person that I matched with also contacted me on Tinder and was like, I saw you on Smailey, so would you like to go out with me? I didn't answer any of those because that was just too weird for me. I just couldn't deal with it. I know that I might be a person that you spot. Like, if you have matched with me on Tinder, you probably don't match with a lot of red-haired, dreaded girls here in Denmark. I don't know about other places, but here you don't. So I'm pretty easy to spot. Like, I've spoken to quite a few on Tinder that has been like, I've seen you somewhere, or I know who you are. I also have those, quite awkward. So it just happens. It happens that people have seen me, or they see me and recognize me. But it made the situation a bit weird. But we never saw each other again either. That was my best and worst Tinder date experience, and if you have any weird stories, I would love to read them. Then comment down below. I would love to see and hear like what you guys have experienced, if you have experienced something so weird or something very cool, or let me know. So I hope you enjoyed the last video of the week. I will be back next week with 5 videos. Maybe actually I think there's going to be a vlog tomorrow as an extra thing, Saturday, so I hope you're gonna enjoy that. But leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more videos of my Tinder series, and I'll see you again Monday. This is a long video, but I hope you enjoyed the stories, so I'll see you again soon guys. Bye.